Chasing trail, kicking up dirt, sweating my eyes, but it don't hurt. Fast feet, loose rocks, send it full sail. Ain't no stopping, we chasing trail. Yeehaw!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chasing Trail. I am your host, Teddy Tonelli, aka Teddy Transit, and today we have a very special guest on the show. This guy is likely in your social feeds, posting some off-the-wall stuff about running and trying to engage in a humorous manner. But more importantly, Teddy got a chance to meet this guy and race him during the Mammoth 200. So ask yourself, what can Brown do for you? Well, it can bring you our next guest. Please welcome Jake Jackson. Jake, how the hell you doing?
I'm doing awesome, Teddy. It was great getting to meet you before Mammoth. I don't know how much we actually raced each other because I think I led the race for about 5 seconds, and then after that, you guys all passed me and took off, and never to be seen again. So it's great to be here,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, no, I remember seeing you. I was looking at the things you was posted and you was up front, and then I was like, oh man, like Jake really like he did a good job getting some filming stuff for for Hillary and Tim and everything like that. You see, Rachel over there, you see Tara Dower, but that's actually it's pretty interesting though, is because when we was talking at the beginning of the race, he was kind of telling me your race strategy, which we're gonna kind of get into a little bit here, which I think is really cool. But more importantly, back to the selfie stick here. Everybody wants to know, you know, do you use your hand that holds the selfie stick to jerk it? Because like that thing has got to be pretty strong if you hold that camera all day. And like, better question, have you ever used the selfie stick when getting intimate? Go ahead.
I have not. I don't think my wife would really appreciate that all that much. But I have gotten pretty good at holding it in both hands. You can take that
Oh,
for what it
oh,
is. So yeah.
okay. Yeah, we got this guy. This guy, he's an ambidextrous. I like it.
Yes.
That's good. That
Got to get all the
answers that.
angles.
Yeah, absolutely. That answers that question. Honestly, we really don't have to get into it, because like I said, yeah, the wife may not appreciate it, but I just, for the people that was wondering, now Jake can use both hands pretty effectively. Um, Okay, sorry. Before we get into Mammoth, let's stick with the stick for a minute here. What about being a running influencer would most people not understand? Like, is there something about being in that world as that that we mere mortals wouldn't comprehend?
I don't know if I would. I guess I am considered a running influencer with the amount of followers I have. I don't think I'm very good at it. I'll put it that way. Other people would say you're crazy, but I think the biggest thing is you got to have a pretty good helping of like ego and being self-centered, I think, to be really, really good at it. I think that just kind of comes with the territory. Biggest problem has always been I hate talking about myself on camera. So I ended up using a lot of like captions and stuff to do it. But I think the ego thing definitely comes into play when you're trying to, build a following and all that garbage that comes with it.
Yeah, no, I see. Well, I would say that, definitely in the realm of running influencer here, because, you have like, I don't know. I thought last time I checked, and it's been a minute. This is like since before Mammoth, but I think it was like 25,000, 29,000 followers. Is it about that? Is it getting more?
It's about 27, and it's funny enough, it's been actually going down. I don't know what's been going on. The algorithm changed, or I haven't been posting as much. And you know, being somebody who's like numbers driven, I've always kind of been that way. It's like frustrating. Like, what am I doing different? What am I doing wrong? That's causing things to go backwards. And half the time, I think a lot of those follows are probably bots. To tell you the truth, I don't know how many of those are actually real people, but yeah, I've kind of come to the terms with it's kind of silly, this whole thing. I started doing it mostly to gain some access into some of these running companies, maybe get some sponsorships. That was kind of the big thing because I do okay running well, finishing, wherever in the podium, as much as I can. But in the beginning, it started off as just trying to get my foot in the door with some of these running companies. And, it's a lot of fun. I have fun doing it. It's cool interacting with people. I get lot of cool DMs from people saying that, because of my stuff that they started running or started doing some of these longer races. So it's been a cool like evolution, but it it's really it's kind of a game. It's just, you play a video game, you try to rack up as many points as you can. And unfortunately, that's kind of the byproduct of some of these social media things.
Yeah. No, I can relate to the portion about the, looking at the numbers and things. When Teddy started this podcast, it started off slow, Hey, that being said, we are the fastest growing running podcast in the industry right now, which is great. It's impressive for
Awesome.
sure. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. But the thing is that before, I would look at the numbers and Teddy would get depressed, I play in it and I only had like 30 plays here and like this only gets 5 views. This one gets zero. And I'm like, Teddy, what are you doing wrong? But the thing is that I decided, I said, I'm stopping. I'm not looking at it anymore. I'm just going and we're just going to put a foot down and we're going to work. Kind of like we do with our run training. But, I
Yeah,
like that answer from you because, I think that, as you said, it does take a healthy amount of ego, but it's hard sometimes to make that come out, because if you're not naturally like that, you got to kind of work the system a little bit to your favor. You know what I'm saying? And,
absolutely.
uh, yeah, the one thing that you do that is just disgusting. I was watching it earlier this morning and it made me toss my cookies a little bit. I kept it down, but it got in my mouth a little bit. Was you took your big toe and you peeled off a nail, but it didn't look like it wanted to come off. It looked like you put some force into that thing. Like you freaking, and look, Teddy's got delicate feet. I've already talked about it. What happened for me at Mammoth, my little tootsies got hurt. They was real beat up. And I see you and you're just ripping freaking toenails off like an animal. It's like this guy's crazy. And so there's a lot of foot content. I don't know how I feel about it, but I gotta give you credit. You seem like a tough son of a bitch to be able to pull off your biggest freaking toenail. It doesn't even want to come off.
I wish those things would stop growing back actually, because it's like, I don't know, 12 months out of the year, it's like I maybe have three or four that are actually there fully grown. And yeah, it's like, stop already. You're never going to win.
And did you see Jimmy Elam? He said that he got his toenails surgically removed. Do you think that
I heard
I
that.
think
Yeah.
I want to do that, I think.
Yeah. I don't know how much that costs, but that would definitely, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if like you probably got pretty good insurance with UPS. I wonder if they could cover that. Like maybe you drop. Well, to see the thing is you're driving, so you're always kind of using your foot on the pedals. What I'm thinking you do is like you take your foot and like you go in flip flops one day. Maybe that's a work violation, whatever. And then like you slam your foot into the pedal and you tell them, hey guys, like I don't want to make this a thing. I don't want to workers comp you guys because I could take you for everything. I think we settle out of court here and you just pay for my toenail removal surgery because if I don't have toenails, think about what a better driver I could be.
Yeah, unfortunately, UPS has a pretty strict appearance guidelines with our uniforms. And if I showed
Oh,
up
come
in
on. They
flip
let you
flops,
guys wear freaking shorts. If you're wearing shorts, you could wear, you know what I mean? Like what is that? I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's just the delivery guys, but like I mean, you're allowed to still wear shorts, right?
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Okay.
drive the big rig. So, yeah, we have the same appearance guidelines. And funny enough, they actually relaxed some of it about 2 or 3 years ago. We used to be totally clean shaven. We couldn't have our mustaches past the corner of our mouth, no long hair. And the CEO decided that that was kind of old school. And literally, after that ban got lifted, every single driver in UPS suddenly had a beard over the next
Heck
6 months.
yeah.
It just crazy got out of control. So,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Hopefully they don't implement that policy again. That's ridiculous. Teddy would never be a driver for UPS because this thing right here, it's staying. It's staying. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Okay, well, now that we already have that plan out there, we can't let UPS see this, so we're gonna scratch that. But either which way, I'm gonna look into the toenail thing because I think the toenail thing would be would be an absolute game changer, because that like especially like during a race when it starts coming out. Have you ever had it when they start coming off and you could feel it like, ew, God, it's gross.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are the worst.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Okay, so Mammoth, when I met you before the race, we got to spend a few minutes downstairs chatting, trying to stay out of the cold a little bit, and start talking about strategy. And you said something that was pretty profound for me. You said that when you race Cocodona, and this kind of goes back to the ego thing with the Instagram, was that that Cocodona humbled you. You said you went in there and you kind of like you had these big goals for yourself, and it really humbled you, and you just really wanted to come into Mammoth no paces, no crew, just freaking raw dog the thing and prove to yourself that you could do it. Now, I believe you already talked about this on another podcast, but I'd like to hear it, hear it again, for our listeners. Um, what do you think you took away from Mammoth, that finish, that you may have missed at Cocodona? Minus the obvious finishing the race part. Like, what did you really take away from this race other than the perseverance?
Yeah, it's like pretty crazy because I'd finished Cocodona last year. I had a full crew and pacers and all that, and had a really rough race with some breathing issues, which seems to be a constant thing that I'm dealing with in these 200 milers. And then going into it this year was kind of like my redemption. I'm gonna like try to hopefully mitigate some of those breathing issues, be a lot more smart with my sleeping strategy. And literally a week before the race, I got sick. My family and I went to Knott's Berry Farm on a cold day, and it was just like everybody was coughing, and I got sick like 3 days before Coconona. And I was like, had to make that decision of, do I just scrap the whole thing, 6 months of training just for just being sick, or do I just show up and start? So I made the decision to show up and start. Bad thing is I probably should have left my ego at home and just said, you're just going to finish this thing. But no, being competitive the way I am, I went out with the same splits that I was planning on running, and the weather went south. Nobody had a great day. Well, a few people. Dan Green obviously had a
Yeah.
phenomenal day, but yeah, so I should have just slowed my pace down and just managed, the head cold that I had and finished, and gone through it. And at the time when I DNF'd, it was 94 miles in. I said, I know it's coming. The mud's getting worse. The weather's getting worse. I can't get through this. And I thought I made the right decision. I probably would have ended up in the hospital like some of the other runners did. And,
It was Max. Max
yeah,
ended up in the hospital.
yeah, yeah, four or
Yeah.
five miles out from the finish. Yeah, that's tough break for him for sure.
Tough
And,
break, Max.
the week after, I was like, damn, dude, I should have just done this and this and this. And I just told myself, I had already had plans to do the Mammoth, and was like, I'm doing this thing for myself this time. I don't give a shit how long it takes me to get to this thing done. If I'm the last freaking runner, I'm just not stopping. So that was just the mindset I had, and it was more of a, I'm going to prove this to myself that I can do it than anybody else. And of course, I'm a competitive person, and I like to feed off, some external, motivation from people seeing what I'm doing and wanting to prove to all the world or whoever's watching that I can finish these things. And this time, this race was totally for me. And I gained a lot of like confidence just in myself that I can get through these hard things all on my own. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm wondering about Mammoth. You see, would you see yourself? Do you think you're going to go back next year? I mean, you ran the inaugural, with Teddy, and which I think is a huge. It's a very special thing to be able to run an inaugural race. Is this going to be one that you're going to be putting on the calendar year after year, or are you looking to do something next year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely planning on coming back next year. I
Okay.
was dumb enough to go get the freaking Mammoth tattooed on my leg, so I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna. Hopefully, they'll give me a
Yeah.
free entry or something. So, yeah, that's the plan. I'll see how many years I can do it in a row, and yeah,
Teddy is gonna get the same thing, not the same tattoo that you got, but I'm gonna do something similar. I'm gonna do the Mammoth. I'm gonna move this really quick here. I'll show you. I'm gonna get it right here. Get it right here. I could probably show you, but let's see, my butt cheeks might come out. Oh, you might like my boxes. They're made of ice cream, but I'm gonna get
oh
it right
yeah,
here, all right down down the leg. It's gonna be good. Okay.
you don't have
Um,
much room left, do you? You're
well, on the
pretty
leg,
well
yeah,
tattooed.
yeah. On the legs, I actually got a decent amount of room, except for the
Okay.
lower legs. I got my raccoon tattoo. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a real good tattoo. I'm not going to show it here. You can see it another time. But yeah, got I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'd have to compare tattoos. Maybe next time I see you, we'll derobe at the finish line or something.
For
Give the
sure.
people a show. Yeah, I think that would be good. But I want to get it on the side there, nice and big old mammoth guy, big old tattoo. And that what I'm really hoping from it is, I like the idea of the tattoo. It's a real cool tattoo. It's a cool design. But what I'm thinking is that I send it to Hillary and Tim. I said, hey, guys, look, here's a picture of my leg, with the tattoo. How about a free entry for next year's race? I'm just throwing it out there. Tim, if you're
Yeah.
listening, think about it. Hillary, come on, huh? I just free Brandon, Teddy, I'll
Yep.
walk around in short shorts all day long so you can see it. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. Is it out of curiosity, how old was you when you got your first tattoo?
Oh, geez. 18, I guess. My next door neighbor, he got into it. He was a year older than me, and we grew up shit since we were like 3 and 4. Like we've known each other our entire lives. And yeah, it was basically, he started doing a few tattoos on his friends, and I was like not wanting to be the first one to get a tattoo from him. So I waited, a little bit. But yeah, it was basically in his bedroom on his bed, him just tattooing. And yeah, I've only had two tattoo artists work on me, both of them good friends of mine. So
That's
yeah, and
cool.
it's been a while actually since I've been tattooed. The mammoth one has probably been 5, 6, 7 years probably since I've gotten one. So
Wow. All
yeah,
right. I like that. That means that
yeah.
makes it extra special. Yeah, Teddy only gets tattooed like once, twice a year. I'm the same way. I've had one person pretty much tattoo me my whole life. I take that back. When Teddy was 17, I had this guy, he came up and he's like, "Hey, we're getting tattoos." And I said, "Okay, I'm in. Like, let's do this." Young buck looking, looking tough and stuff like that. I got it on my chest. Anyway, the guy that ended up covering up because it was a terrible tattoo, I got it on the floor of a living room. The guy was on drugs when he gave
Oh
me the
geez.
tattoo. Yeah, it was bad. It hurt real bad. But the good thing is that I met the tattoo artist that I have now. He's a great guy. He does all the things for me. So I get up there like once a year. I call it tattoo therapy. Because I don't go talk to anybody about my traumas and things like that.
Right.
Um, I internalize everything and I stuff it down, and then I go get tattooed, and then it lets it all come out. I think that's healthy. I'm not sure. My psychologist would probably tell me, no, Teddy, that's not healthy. You should still talk to your therapist, but I don't really want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why we run long distances too. It's like you just
Yeah.
bear it down while you're out there running. So
100%. Yeah, exactly. We all got problems. There's something that brings all of us to this sport, and
oh
it's
yeah.
usually trauma. Whether it's whether like me and Max. We have the whole addiction problem. I was also touched by my uncle. I think I repressed those, but everybody has their thing. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Okay, so slightly off topic here, but here at Chase and Trail, we love animals. To me, you look like an animal guy. I think I saw in one of your stories that you saved a turtle. That's pretty cool. I don't want to hear about that story. However, some people don't like the term spirit animal. They think it's like cultural appropriation or whatever. I don't buy that. I think that spirit animals are a good thing. So I want to ask you, Jake, what would you say is your spirit animal?
That's pretty hilarious that you brought this up. I never really thought of myself of having a spirit animal, but just earlier this year, one of the mornings I was out running in our local hills, and I came across something that I don't think anybody in my running group that runs in those hills had ever seen out there before, and it freaked me out because I didn't know what it was at first. Climbing up one of the hills, the sun was like just barely starting to come up, so I had my headlamp out, and about 50 feet in front of me, I see this animal bigger than a raccoon, but
Ooh.
closer to the ground. And I was like, what the hell is that thing?
Oh,
At first, I thought it was a wolverine. And I was
oh
like, there's
man.
no freaking way there's a wolverine out Southern California. Well, it ended up being a badger.
Yeah.
So the group that I run with every Tuesday morning, that's my new nickname, the Badger. So I guess in
Love
some
it.
way that's my spirit animal because nobody has seen them out there. And it was just me out there all by myself, and I just happened to see it. So yeah, I got a cool video of it on my Instagram too if you want to see it.
I absolutely want to see it. And my
Yeah.
freaking mind is absolutely blown, Jake, right now because I could show you my notes here, but I was gonna tell you, I think my spirit animal is okay, it's kind of a hybrid, okay? I'll put a picture up on the screen for everybody to see what I'm talking about. But it's a honey badger and a penguin mixed
Oh wow.
together. Yeah, a honey badger and a penguin. And the thing is that badgers and honey badgers, obviously, because they both share the name badger, both part of the weasel family.
Right.
And that's really cool. Badgers is awesome. Did you
Yeah.
get close to it? Did he want to he probably got aggressive and territorial. He probably wanted to hurt you, huh?
Yeah, it was funny because I was like, at first I was just walking up behind it, and every like, I don't know, 30 seconds, they would spin around and just stare at me. And you could
Yeah.
hear it like growling. And it went around this
Yeah.
little corner into some bushes. And so I was like kind of tentative getting up to where it was. And then I got up close enough to where I had a good shot of it with my camera. And it just was staring at me, just making these wild noises. So,
Yeah, so cool.
badgers, they've always had the reputations of being freaking just ferocious and badasses. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that all by myself like that. So,
Now that is really cool. They're super tenacious little creatures. I mean, like
uh,
some would say they're bordering on stupid with how they like go after lions and stuff like that. But
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
perfect. That's perfect for people like us, Jake,
Right.
because if you
Yeah.
think about it, when we're going after those big long distances, 100 miles, 200 miles, you got to have a little bit of stupidity to be able to go and do that. So yeah, honey badger and the badger. Yeah, I like it. That's really good. I think badgers are a little bit bigger than honey badgers, which kind of makes sense. You look like you might be a little bigger than Teddy, but yeah, that's okay. That's neither here nor there. I love that answer. I can't get over it. I mean, I've had these like sometimes I feel like I'm clairvoyant, but maybe that's just the power of the penguin portion of that hybrid creature. I'll get into it a little bit as I think goes
Yeah.
why I think the penguin too is because Teddy likes to give people gifts, specifically rocks, and penguins give rocks to their mates.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't do it from a mating perspective. I just like giving people rocks because I think that rocks is magical. So next time I see you, Jake, I'm gonna bring you a special rock. The only other person in the running community that I've ever given a rock to is Rachel Entrikin.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we exchanged rocks right before Mammoth 200. I think that she hexed my rock, to be honest. It was this piece of petrified wood,
Uh-huh.
and and she's like, "Oh, you got to carry it." It was a whole thing. I went over it on a podcast before with Edda, I think, which who we raced by the way, great guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I gave a little piece of amethyst, and she carried it the whole way. But the
Oh,
thing
that's
is
cool.
Teddy put love and like he said, I hope Rachel does really good. So hey, if you think about it. I know that she's talented and everything, but in reality, the reason why Rachel did so well is because I gave her that rock with all the powers.
That makes sense. Okay. I'll go with that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so I have a question. We
Mhm.
went through that obsidian section, those
Mm.
crater mountain and the obsidian dome.
Yeah.
So I know we weren't supposed to, but how many of those shiny black rocks did you jack?
You know what? That's a great question. The thing is on that race, I didn't actually take any rocks. However, I will
Okay.
admit that I have taken rocks from Obsidian Dome before because I love it. Now, the
Yeah.
one rock that I would really like from there, I don't know if you've seen them, but it's the Obsidian, but it has like these nice like brown patterns in them too. They are
Yeah.
absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, what
I
time did
loved.
you?
Oh
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. No, 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 go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. I was just gonna comment on how going through those segments at night. I went through both of them at night, and I probably had the craziest hallucinations going through those sections, being sleep
Nice.
deprived and just completely out of my mind, seeing all that black rock. I'd made comments that it kind of looked like it was oil coming out of the rocks because
Oh,
it was super shiny, and when you have your headlamp on and you look over at it, it just looked like mountains of oil dripping
oh
out. So
wow.
it was nuts.
Hey, and I think I have a question here about hallucinations, but since you brought it up, what was some of the things that you've seen out there? Like what was some of the crazy ones? Do you have reoccurring ones? What was the hallucinations like?
So strange enough, this has been the first race that I've actually hallucinated in. And I think it was just from the
Nice.
lack of sleep. And all of them were at night for whatever reason. And I don't know, you probably remember seeing a lot of the fallen pine trees that
Mm,
had kind of not fossilized, but had been bleached white because of the sun.
yeah.
Well, I was seeing like marble sculptures of different animals and stuff out there during the night.
Whoa.
None of them were moving, but just full on sculptures of anything, any kind of animal, deer, just anything.
That's
Um,
cool.
those were pretty wild. I think the wildest one that got my heart actually racing. And every time I tell my friends about this, they think I'm just on drugs, anyways, just for seeing it. But coming down, there's a lot of the Jeep trail that we were going through the woods and stuff. And about, I don't know, 20 feet ahead of me, I looked up and there was what I thought was a guy doing one of the flexing his guns, standing
Nice.
and staring at
Yeah.
me. And I thought, like,
Yeah.
what a weirdo. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. What is this guy doing standing out here? And my brain just went to, well, it's, getting closer to Halloween. Maybe he's just out here trying to scare us. Of course, the closer I got, I realized there's just a small pine tree that, for whatever reason, my brain thought was a man flexing. So, yeah, that was the wildest one I
Freaking
think I saw.
buff ass pine trees out there. That's crazy. I like it. Yeah, no, and the thing is, I hear a bunch of people had different hallucination things. I didn't really have any hallucinations out there. There was one time where I thought I saw a log kind of moving a little bit, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to seeing some of the things, and like, but look, the thing is that it's everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's brain's wired a little bit differently. Everybody handles sleep deprivation a little bit differently. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. So running 200s now, and being a veteran at the 100-mile distance, I want to, we've already talked about the hallucinations, but and all that stuff. But in those longer races, what's something that you find to be the most challenging at those longer distances? And not only the challenging part, but what do you really enjoy about doing those longer distances?
Yeah, sometimes I'm sure you think this too. You're in the middle of the race and you're just like, why the hell am I out here? What is the purpose of doing this? It just hurts. I want to stop. And I think I'm kind of the type of person that once I start something, I have to finish it no matter what it is. Um, I love putting puzzles together. I do that sometimes on my recovery days,
Nice.
and it's just the completion of something. Maybe that's why I enjoyed working at UPS, as I do. You go in, you have a package car that you need to get all the packages out. And it bothers me when I can't, or, you run out of time or whatever, and you have to bring something back. So I think that all plays into it. And it's just, it's just the mind over wanting to quit. I think that
Yeah.
gets me to those finish lines a lot of the times. It's like I've DNA'd two races, which is I think pretty good considering I've done, I don't know, 70, 80 ultras in my
Yeah.
career so far. So, and both of them, Cocodona was one of them, and Black Canyon I DNF'd because I was sick during the race too. But yeah, it's pretty cool to be able to finish something that you set out months in advance to accomplish, and you just get them done.
No, I agree completely. And I think that that's what brings a lot of us to this sport, and it serves as inspiration. And I think that that's one thing, because Teddy's gonna be honest with you. You running influences, I don't get it. Some of them bother me. Last podcast I was talking about, and outlook. Teddy's gonna get some shit for this, but I don't care. I don't care. You're changing my mind about these things, but there's one of them in particular. His name's Matt Johnson. He charges $500 for run training. He's like, come on, guy. You're smoking cigarettes in your bathtub and you're training people for $500 a month. Okay. I saw what you did at Tahoe 200. You look terrible. Anyway, I'm moving on. I think that's a good answer. I'm not going to talking shit, but what I want to do is I want to get us into a lightning round right now.
Okay.
You may be familiar with the lightning round. I'll give the quick rules. Basically, I'm going to play some music. You're not going to hear it because it's in post production. I haven't figured out how to do it in the live thing. I don't know. Teddy's not good with the computers. And funny enough, actually, before we get into it, my producer, his name is Jake as well. I don't think there's any relation, however, but his name is Jake, and he's awful. I really need to get a new person. And if you have any technical abilities, I would really like to make a transition to somebody else named Jake.
Okay.
Yeah. You're on freaking notice, pal. You're on notice because the thing is you fuck something up every single episode. Yeah, you drink your fucking water. Anyway, okay. So if you send the application in, I'll get you the email. It goes directly to Jake. I want him to know what's happening. That Jake is going
Okay.
to replace Jake.
It
Okay.
has to be
Okay.
a Jake though. Okay. I'll,
It
I'll
has
remember
to
that.
be a Jake. Yeah, so if it's not you, it's going to have to be somebody else named Jake. So if you also know any other Jakes, I'll also take those applications.
Well, Jake Kilgore, he has his own podcast. That might be a little bit of a conflict of interest, but
It might be. It might be. Yeah. Yeah. He might not like that, because
yeah,
again, at some point we're going to surpass him in his podcast. He does a great job. I'm not going
yeah,
to, not going to throw too much shade at him, but he knows we're coming for him. We're going to take the top spot. Dylan Bowman, that freaking robot, he's done. He's finished. Anyway, let's get into the lightning round. Enough of Teddy shit talking here. So the lightning round, basically, I'm going to give you a question. You're going to give me a lightning fast answer. We try to keep it rolling. Sometimes if you can't think about it and like you have to pause, that gets me a little bit irritable. So if you could try to be fast, I want you to be on your toes. I hope you had your coffee, but we
oh
are
yeah.
going to get started. Are you ready, Jake?
I'm ready. Go for it.
Okay, lightning round, ready. Okay, best chapstick flavor.
I'm a big fan of mint, spearmint or mint. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, favorite Southern California mountain.
I gotta say San G, it's the biggest one, so I love going up there.
Yeah, we like big things here.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
have you ever slashed a FedEx truck's tires because fuck those guys? This is Brown Town.
No, we try to be pretty cordial with them. You know, if they wave, we, kind of wave back, like, whatever, dude. Yeah.
Hey, how you
It's
doing?
it's
Yeah.
it's more of a Teamster thing, you know. We got to stick up
Oh.
for the Teamsters.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, yeah. There was one time. I'm gonna pause lightning round. Okay, so there was this one time when I was growing up. I was driving through the snow, and I saw a FedEx truck, and he was pulled off to the side of the road. He had slid out because he was probably a terrible driver, not good like you. And he was pulled over to the side, and my buddy was in the car, and he yelled out. He's like, "Hey, what can Brown do for you, asshole?" And he didn't appreciate it, but I thought it was funny at the time. So I try to use UPS whenever I can because I know the better drivers in the snow.
No, we appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Lightning round starting again. Okay. What is your biggest turn on?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Getting lots of sleep, I guess. I don't know. I love sleeping. I don't get enough of it. So yeah, getting lots of sleep.
That's true. Yeah. You can't perform when you're tired. That's a good point. Okay. Favorite race of all time?
Oh shit. I used to say Desert Solstice, the stupid track race out in Arizona, because I love being out there. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I liked Kodiak. I'll go local and say Kodiak. Back when it used to go all the way around the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of this out and back shit that they're doing now. So
Yeah, UTM. Okay, lightning round is over. Great call. UTMB, get your shit together. I understand that you're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell me, oh, it's because of the fires and it's because
yeah.
of this and it's because of. Stop with the bullshit. When they did it before, they did it and they made it all the way around. We need that back. I was at Kodiak this year. I saw you at Kodiak this year. You was pacing, which is
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
You was pacing a guy out there and for a 100-mile race, and I'm like, oh man, Teddy's legs is still tired. You know, that deep fatigue from Mammoth. I don't know if it's because my genetics aren't that good, but I saw you out there. It was good. But I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Well, you were more sore because you ran a lot faster than I did at Mammoth. I hiked a lot, so
Yeah, I wouldn't say I ran a lot faster. I think I was just, Ted was just kind of going at his pace. We ran the first 100 miles pretty quick. We was right
yeah.
on pace, but then Teddy's, like I said, Teddy's tootsies, they's got these weak little things. I gotta figure it out. Maybe what it is that I'm not using the squirrel's nut butter. I think that's one of your
That might
sponsors. So
be
we're
it.
gonna,
Yeah.
we're gonna give them a free shout out. But if you could put in a good word for them, let them know that we're doing discounts right now on all our sponsorships coming in because we have zero at the moment. We pissed some people off with our last episode, and all the sponsors dropped. That's fine. We're gonna get off of it. Okay. So I gotta ask you. You are the only person I know who's run a 100-mile race in a speedo for the fun of it. Now, Corey Waltering used to do it. All right, but Corey is what the kids would call zesty, right? But he stopped doing it. So understanding that this was kind of part of the Javelina 100. What was the costume inspiration, or were you just trying to go out there and show the world your massive hog?
So a couple corrections. It wasn't 100 miles. It was 100K.
Hmm.
And I did technically wear the thong. It was a thong, not a speedo. So my ass cheeks were out.
Yeah, no, I did see that. Yeah, I did see your butt
Unfortunately, you
cheeks
did see that.
fully on display.
So
Yeah.
I did technically wear the thong, but it was not exposed until the very last horseshoe going into the finish line. So
Okay.
I did not think that I could get a pair of thongs on at the end of the race. They have this cool, like, they have all these awards at the end of the race. DFL, best
Yeah.
costume, they have best ass. So I was trying to win
Oh,
best ass. So I did not read the rules, and technically you have to finish one complete lap with your ass showing. So that's why I did not win that year. My friend
okay.
Pam Smith, she did win. Anyways, so I basically finished up my third loop, got to where the aid station was, went into the bathroom, stripped down to my shorts, shorts and shirt off, and ran the last, whatever that half mile, whatever it is, into the finish. So
Huh.
yeah, and
Yeah, I can imagine.
I still get repercussions from that clip from Squirrel's Nut Butter and my friends at Runner showing that, and my daughter unfortunately has to see it every year. So
Oh God,
sorry,
yeah.
babe.
I would say that one thing that you're gonna probably need to do, and I can imagine running 100 miles with that whole thing up your butt cheeks, because like this, I don't even know if squirrel's nut butter could fix that problem. I mean, yeah, because you're gonna have to be down there just freaking getting it in the entire time, because my gosh, it's a lot of friction right there in a pretty sensitive area. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I was
Oh
definitely worried
yeah.
after the race that that first shower was going to be more painful than it usually is.
Yeah. Well, if you need to go back, you need to go back and you need to go get that title. So maybe, figure out the lubing thing, get that thong back on and just go out there and go get him, kid, you know?
Yeah, maybe next year.
Yeah. Maybe next year. I like that. I like that spirit. That's good. That's good. I like you, Jake. I like you. Okay. Okay. So, you work a full-time job as a truck driver for UPS, as we've mentioned. You have a wife, you have kids, and you still manage to kick out content like a freaking hooker, cranking out BJs on New Year's Eve. How are you able to prioritize your time? Like, it's impressive. How do you find the time to do all this?
I don't know. Sometimes I ask myself that same question. We do have a lot of downtime in between stops at work, so I'll throw some stuff together at work. I've gotten semi good at doing it and it not taking very long. I carry that 360 camera with me a lot and I can edit that stuff pretty fast. So, a lot of it's
Yeah.
just technology and you get used to doing something, you can do it faster the more you do it. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. I need to
it's
get
a
better with it, you know.
it's
I
a
mean,
pain in the ass
I
for
can
sure.
imagine. Yeah, kind of like the thong. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but like I think it's something is I gotta ask though. I mean, is it something you still enjoy doing? Is it something that you actually get enjoyment out of it, or is at this point you're just trying to feed the beast? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it goes through phases. Like when
Yeah,
I race a lot, content is of course a lot easier to come by. But especially this time of year when I'm running out in the morning and it's dark, it's like nobody wants to see you running in the dark under street lamps. So it's like I just kind of
yeah,
cut back on a lot of that stuff. But yeah, it's cool. I like sharing my race stuff and the little adventures we go on with training. And so yeah, we'll
yeah.
have to get
Maybe you do
together
like
and do some content together sometime.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Teddy go out there and like, I've never held a selfie stick. I think my arms is probably a little bit too weak. But we go out there. I would say that, it would just be fun to get out there, go run San G because again, I Teddy's favorite mountain down here in Southern California as well. It's really special,
Yeah.
especially that South Fork route. That's great. Vivian's great too.
Yep.
I'd say that you're a big fan of was it the Moy Maya route, right? Moy Maya
Yeah.
route. That's yeah.
They need to do some work on it. There's about a 2 mile section in the middle of it that's like very overgrown. And yeah, if you don't like wear pants, your legs are coming out looking like oof, like a cat got to you. It looks real
You know
bad.
what? Maybe that's what we do, Jake. Maybe we go out there and we give back to the community. We go out there and we go trim up that trail. That'd be some good content.
Heck yeah.
We could frame it as like, hey, trail runners coming out and doing the thing. But in reality, all we're really doing is doing it for the content. They don't need to know that. But it would look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a good
This
plan.
perception is
Maybe we'll get Matt
reality.
Johnson out here and he can help us do it.
I don't know if he could make it up that high, especially if there's snow. He's more of a road running guy. Yeah, Matt, how about you? How about you come out here and you contribute to the trail community a little bit, rather than coming to Tahoe 200 and trying to insult everything we do. You're a road runner, man. You're a freaking road runner, all right? You're like, I can't. You know what, Matt? I'm willing to talk to you, but
Matt's a good dude. I met him last year
yeah.
when he ran a Run for Kids 100 miler, and I came out and paced him the last 30 miles. And yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah.
he means
If he's
well.
if he's running for kids, okay, I could get behind that. All right. So Matt, talk to me. All right. We're gonna get up. I can't keep talking bad about the guy because Teddy wants to be friendly to everybody. But $500 freaking, Matt. Come on, man. I know that you're training the fat guy jelly roll, but holy crap, dude! Like $500, that's ridiculous. Okay. So when did you decide that you was gonna be a truck driver? Was it like a
Oh boy.
childhood thing where like you really liked Santa Claus, but then you grew up and you were like, shit, what's the next best thing that I could be delivering gifts to people? Like because truck driver, Teddy grew up and Teddy never really necessarily wanted to be a truck driver. Why did you decide that profession?
Yeah, so long short story. I'm third generation truck driver. My
Whoa.
grandfather, he started a long time ago. He owned a trucking business. My dad worked in the business for years. He ended up leaving the company and driving his own truck. And I was, that was never something I ever wanted to do. UPS, you work in the warehouse, you work on the airport, you work your way up seniority wise to get into the brown truck and deliver packages. So I ended up deciding to do that a little bit later in my career. I could have done it, years before, but needed to, make a little bit more money, obviously. Did not like really the hustle and working that many hours on my feet, as well as running 80, 90, 100 miles a week. I was just
Yeah.
broken. I felt broken a lot of the time. So the next step up from being a package car driver is going into what's called the feeder driver, which is driving the big rig. So did my year of safe driving in package, and yeah, it winded up sitting on my ass a lot more than I kind of like to for my job, but it was both beneficial time wise and less stress on my body being, running as much as I do. So that's how I ended up being a truck driver. And, it has its good and bad moments. It's not the end all be all career for me, something I wanted to grow up doing as a kid, but it's, provides everything that I have for
Yeah.
my family and being able to go and run crazy races like Mammoth. So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's in the blood, it sounds like. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like I want to get away, but I can't. It's always bringing me back, you know?
Yeah.
Like running. I'm sure there's some sort of analogy there, whatever, it doesn't matter. I like that answer. That's good. But what I want to know, Jake, is tell me something that nobody would guess about you, like a weird hobby or a type of food you really love that's kind of bizarre.
Uh, Yeah, I don't know. I had a weird Candy Crush streak going for I don't know 1,000 something days that I would play every day because of
Whoa.
work, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. And I found myself on like Cocodona, like waking up in the morning and like I need to open up the app just so I can keep my streak going. So it's kind of embarrassing, but whatever it is, it is.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
fine. We all got our things, you know. Teddy doesn't really play video games. It's nothing like that. But I could see it, you know, especially when you get those streaks, you know, it's like, oh crap, you know, I gotta get my 30-day streak, you know, and then you get on
yeah.
top the leaderboards, and then you have that competitive side of you, and then it's just like it's a vicious cycle. Yeah, you know, I could see it being a problem for sure. Do you still play Candy Crush, or is that
Uh, every once in a while, yeah.
okay? But we're not
Yeah.
super religious about the
Oh no,
streak
no,
anymore.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I actually
Okay.
I missed a day, and yeah,
Mm.
I was just like, oh, I guess that's over with. So yeah,
Eh,
whatever.
yeah, whatever. You could try Duolingo. They have streaks too. I had people really get into those, and you can learn a different language,
Yeah.
yo hablo español.
So
Muy bueno.
I made the 24-hour U.S. national team 2019, and it was being held in France. So I think I took like 3 months before the race and tried to do Duolingo and using, trying to learn French, and it was terrible, and I didn't learn a whole lot and kind of gave up. So
Yeah, what
yeah.
can you say in French to us right now on the podcast that says, what's a phrase you really know?
Uh, we I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We.
It was terrible. It was like teaching you stuff that I never, you know,
Yeah.
would have used. So yeah.
And it's like, where is the library? I don't freaking know where the library is. I don't read. Like, are you
Right.
kidding me? That's ridiculous. We had Jimmy Elam on the podcast. He's a big reader, big freaking nerd. And I was telling him some of my favorite books and giving him try to give me some recommendations, because the only books that I really like, I told him, I like Cat in the Hat, I like the Dr. Seuss books. It's got the good pictures and stuff like that. But he's given me books, like he's given me these recommendations that like there's just all words. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't have any freaking, it's like I don't have any pictures to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I know what the story is supposed to be if I can't see the pictures? This is stupid. So like, ¿dónde está la biblioteca? I don't freaking care. You know, tell me
Oh
where I can
yeah.
get a freaking burrito. Like, how do I say that? How do I get a burrito? That's what I want to know. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I got a few more questions here, and I'm gonna let you go. I know you're a
Okay.
busy guy, but there's a lot of content on your page about trail poops. Okay, so Teddy shits his pants all the time, and I was wondering, what is the absolute worst trail pooping story you have ever had?
Oh man, I think it wasn't actually on a trail. I was doing a bit of road running, heading up to run on a trail, and for whatever reason, the coffee kicked in a little bit too soon, and I was literally running down the street. It was early morning, trying to find anywhere that I could get a little bit of coverage, and I ended up getting next to, uh, I'm not proud of it, but went around the back of I think it's called Kinder Care, where they have preschool kids.
Oh,
Luckily, it hadn't started yet, but I snuck
thank
around the
God.
back and yeah, just held on to the chain link fence and let it rip. So,
Nice. Nice.
yeah.
This guy, we could go into pooping in a preschool. I freaking like it. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. No, yeah, that's wow. It's a good one. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. Have you, so I remember when I had Max on the podcast, he said a term that I thought was really funny. He said he called it sacrifice, that you actually sacrifice a sock to wipe your
Yep.
butt. Have you ever had to do that?
No, not yet, thankfully.
Oh,
I
thank
did
God.
I did lose a buff that day when yeah, because it was a little bit cold. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good thing that buffs are biodegradable, I think, maybe. I don't know, at least in a few hundred years. But yeah, you don't want to. The thing is that they tell you to bring your poop bags and you got to pack it out. The thing is, like, that's crazy. I'm not putting poop in a bag. I saw was that Andy Glaze was talking about he had one of his paces carrying like a 10-pound bag of poop. And I was like, man, you must really like that. That's a lot of poop. I just leave it. I bury it like a bear. I mean, because even bears don't bury their poop. So they just poop it out on the ground, just all disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like cats will bury it a little bit. Teddy buries it. I bury my poops. I dig a little hole, bury my poops, cover it up. Pat it down, put a little rock on top of it, nice little
Yep.
monument, and that's it. That's it. Growing mushrooms with that thing, or like just like feeding the biodiversities of things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There was actually one incident in Mammoth. I got into the aid station. I asked the guy if there was any porta potties nearby, and he's like, "Oh yeah, if you go up about a half a mile, there's a bathroom up there." And I was like, "Damn, I don't want to go all the way up and then come all the way
Man,
back down to the aid station." So I like pinched the butt cheeks a little bit and just wolfed down my food as much as I could, and I started heading up. And I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it." So I ended up
you
just
might get.
finding a spot, and if I would have just held it just a little bit, it was a nice, you know, bathroom, like full on toilets,
Yeah.
flushing, all that stuff. And I was like, damn it, I could have, been so much more comfortable. Just, but hey, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Hey, when nature calls, as they say. No, absolutely, absolutely. Okay. Um, all right, Jake. So last thing is I like to give my guest the last word. I like to have them share a message with the world. It could be anything you'd like. You could tell a joke, tell a story. Doesn't really matter. But I wanna give the floor to you. What do you want to tell the people, Jake?
Oh boy, that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, yeah. The thing is I should probably warn people and be like, hey, during the podcast, maybe you should like think about it. But I'm gonna sit here and basically just give you a little bit of time to think. But it just needs to come from the heart, Jake. It just needs to come be real natural for you. Like, what is it that is something you've been dying to say? Maybe a confession that you want to get off your chest. I don't know.
Oh boy. Well, New York City Marathon just happened.
Mm.
And my sister-in-law had been training for it for months. It was basically going to be her first marathon. Never was a runner before. And she ended up getting injured a couple of weeks before the race and had to pull out. And I know she probably sees some of the things that I do and thinks that I'm a freak, that, it's impossible sometimes. But I just like to, I tried to tell her, that race wasn't going to be the end of her running story, no matter what. Even if she didn't want to run after the race or she fell in love with it, like we, have.
Yeah.
Um, I tended to be in the past that the end goal was always the races, and I love to race. I'm sure you do too, but I've kind of over this, especially this year, having the DNF of Cocodona and then finishing Mountain. It's like the journey is not the end of the race; it's your entire life.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I don't want to do this running thing anymore, and you go through phases where you just want to kind of give it up. But whatever your decision, don't take it like this is the end of the journey. It's just part of life, and you just keep moving on to the next thing, whatever makes you happy. And you find joy in doing, and don't let others, define what you're doing, basically. So yeah, that's my big story, I guess.
I no, that's beautiful, Jake. I mean, I think that that's great. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that we take that little clip there. And we'll put that on the Instagram to promote the show because I think that that's something that your sister-in-law would want to see, and we want to tell her from us here at Chase and Trail. He's right. The journey is never ends. You're gonna
Yeah.
get back from this injury. You're gonna go back out there and you're gonna conquer that race, just like you're gonna conquer everything else in life. You're right. It's a beautiful metaphor. I absolutely love it. Thank you for that. The thing is, Jake, is that I always ask people to give the last word, and there's always something that comes out, because we like to joke around here and everything like that. But I still think that it's good to have some of those serious moments, some of those really heartfelt moments, and I think that was one of them. I think that's going to be top 5 at the very least, maybe top 10. I don't know. There's a lot of great things that are said.
Right on.
Either which way. Well, what I want to say before we end the podcast is I believe your Instagram handle is Mr. Jake Jackson. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What we're going to do is we're going to put that up on the screen. I don't know where we're going to put it. We're going to put it somewhere here or there. We're going to put it somewhere up on the screen. So what I would like people to do is you go follow Mr. Jake Jackson on Instagram. He's got great content. It's fun. He's talking about badges. He's talking about saving turtles. He loves animals. He's a big animal guy. And, we love animals here too. And so we want you to go give him a follow. And Jay, we want to thank you for coming on the show. I always forget to do the plugs. I do the plugs. Go visit runslut.co. Buy yourself a shirt. Support it. I haven't said that since like episode 5. Go do it, please. We really need you to go buy some shirts because this is all funded by the shirts. Okay, so this has been Teddy Tonelli with Chase and Trail, aka Teddy Transit. Jake, thank you again. We really appreciate it. Until next time, Teddy out.
Chasing trail, kicking up dirt, sweating my eyes, but it don't hurt. Fast feet, loose rocks, send it full sail. Ain't no stopping, we chasing trail, yeah.